Hello, my dear students. This is Dr. Ikityagi, and we are discussing about labor law second paper. And under this paper, today we'll discuss about the social security of employees. And this topic is given unit number 4 of your syllabus in labor law second paper. So let's start with the social security. See, social security plays an important role in influencing the labor productivity, and it is claimed that productivity and efficiency is, more in countries where social security system is satisfactory from pre-employment period to the death of the employee. And in large number of developed countries and a few developing countries also, there is employment guarantee, which is being thought to be introduced in India and to develop in India in a decent way. And in India, by and large, there is no that much effective system for old age pension, though we have, but the effectiveness is not that much, and which makes one to suffer in old age, and because gradually children are becoming disinterested in their parents. And we all are aware that India is having a very big population, and it is difficult to provide everyone old age pension. So there are also some other problems related to the social security and service for healthcare, or means long absenteeism. Often it is said that provident fund is not adequate for the purposes, and as human development and growth of the country depends to a great extent on social security. So we can say when we talk about the social security, that every person is faced with social problems and risk at some time in his life spent due to risk associated with the unemployment, disability, accidents, maternity, sickness, and old age. And these social security policies are to mitigate or to provide a cover to the cost of these problems and risks faced by the persons to expose these situations. When we talk about the features of the social security, then it is mandatory, sometimes non-optional, and government provided, and provisions of entitlements and enforcement configured through law, and can be taxpayer funded or contribution funded or employee funded, or maybe the combination of these. So when we talk about the features of the securities, mandatory, non-optional, and government provided, and the provisions of entitlements and enforcement, right? And social security, aimed at providing means to the member, a means to handle risk and eventualities, and procedural guarantees for complaints and appeals, and components are as per ILO references, right? So when we talk about the social security schemes in India, then there are certain government health schemes, there are certain post-retirement benefits also under these schemes, and maternity benefits, gratuity, employee compensations, and disabled pensions, old age pensions, Bunkar Bima, and the BD worker welfare schemes, employees provident fund schemes, employee pension schemes, employees deposit link insurance schemes, employee insurance schemes, and PMJJSY and PMSBY schemes. And when we talk about the issues in social security in India, then we find that in India multiplicity of policies, and we are lacking in a lack of any comprehensive policy, And there are many agencies and ministries and governments are also trying to take care of the social security. And lack of resources in states, whether you talk about the health system or health services, so the infrastructure is not very strong, and we are lacking in the infrastructure and the other so far the other equipments, medical equipments are concerned. So we are lacking in the infrastructure. And other important issue related to the social security in India is the limited outreach of schemes, and most of the population is not covered under these social security schemes. And again, for this, there are, number of reasons, like the lack of awareness, illiteracy rate, means the literacy rate is not that much good in India, and exclusion of unorganized and informal sector, and multiplicity of laws, or the multiple laws related to the social security, and the inadequate benefits to the taxpayer. So means even if someone is paying the tax, still he or she feels insecure that what would happen to his or her old age, or in case if the children become disinterested in their parents, right? And of course, the high cost to the companies, if some companies or organizations want to offer these kind of social security schemes, and poor administrative structure for delivery and lack of capacity is also one important issue when we talk about the Indian social security system. Poor compliance means, as I told you, that there is a multiplicity of policies and laws, and means overlapping sometimes, and the poor compliance is also responsible. So these are the issues involved in the Indian social security. And multiple administering authorities is also one important issue when we talk about the Indian social security system. Now we can talk about the recommended steps for the improvement of we can say the social security in India. So apportionment of contributions to different individual schemes accounts from the consolidated contribution received. Modern and efficient delivery structure is required, and we need to reduce that overlapping between the scheme of various ministries and governments. So if we have one comprehensive scheme, and this is the reason that government has introduced this new social security code in India, right? And establishment of one or more common schemes for all organized, unorganized, or informal workers could be considered. And proper basis for universal treatment of all workers should be contained in union level schemes, funds, and laws applicable to the whole of India. So means there has to be a very universal treatment for all the workers, right? And that should be contained in union level schemes or the funds, right? So, and there has to be the provisions for each scheme. So means fund for each scheme should be there. That will make our social security system more strong. And means the avoid employers' liabilities such as employee compensation, maternity benefit, make it a scheme liability. Because see, because the sometimes it becomes the burdensome for the employers, and employer may take it as a liability. So as an employer, one will not be interested to pay the compensation to the employees, or will just try to evade from the responsibilities and the liabilities, whether it is related to the compensation for employees or it is related to the other benefits such as maternity benefit to the employees. So we should avoid this mindset or this sense of employer's liability, rather than it should be a scheme liability, right? And integration of welfare funds into the mainstream, fund framework, which will again make the social security task easier. And the state should remain free to develop additional arrangements at the state level, so that the employees, those who are working in different organizations, different industries, they will feel secure, and they will feel that if anything goes wrong with them, they will be in the safe hands where, by these different social security schemes. So state should remain free to develop additional arrangements at the state level. And now this existing acts replaced by the code, and it's a good move. As I told you, the new social security code has been introduced. And the other important thing is the public-private partnership model can be introduced in social security or social security schemes, and provisions for licensing of intermediate agencies in the field of benefit disbursement or record keeping, or you talk about the fund management or facilitation or point of presence or service delivery. And at present, if you talk about the India's social security system, then a number of schemes and programs is spread throughout a variety of laws and regulations. As I told you, there is an overlapping also sometimes, and government controlled social security system in India applies to only a small portion of the population. And there are different types of social security schemes, like under these social security schemes, pension may be offered, or health insurance and medical benefits may be offered, or disability benefits, or maternity benefits, or employee insurance, or gratuity may be offered, right? And more Indian population is in unorganized sector and may not have an opportunity to participate in each of these schemes, what we have referred. So again, this is a problem, and this is a challenge for the Indian social security mechanism or Indian social security system. And as I have quoted that there is a new code on social security, and in this new code means the Employee Compensation Act, or the Employee State Insurance Act, or the Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act, or means there are different acts which offer the social security, the Maternity Benefit Act, or the Payment of Gratuity Act, right? So new code will take care of all those social security laws. And the Social Security Code 2020, which we call the SS Code also, it has been passed by both the houses of the parliament, and it has also received the presidential assent on 28th of September 2020. And I believe that this is a very good move if we talk about the social security of employees in India. And the Social Security Code has vital provisions with respect to the social security benefits to the workers, right? So this Social Security Code also, mandates that every unorganized worker or platform worker is required to be registered subject to the fulfillment of following condition. If he has completed 16 years of age or any other prescribed age, or he has submitted a self-declaration containing information prescribed by the central government. So every eligible unorganized worker, or as I told you, and when we talk about the social security scheme, the Employees Provident Fund and this Social Security Code has altered the applicability of the Employees Provident Fund schemes, which now will be applicable to every establishment in which 20 or more employees are employed. And when we talk about the employee, state insurance, then this SS code allows for voluntary registration under the employee's state insurance, if the employer and majority of the employees agree. Further, the government has the power to extend the employee's state insurance scheme to hazardous occupations, or where more dangers are involved in the different occupations. So irrespective of the number of the employees employed. And here we can refer to the maternity benefit also, where the maternity benefit shall be applicable to every shop or establishment in which 10 or more employees are employed or were employed on any day of the preceding 12 months. So we can see this SS code will, subsume various existing labor laws in India, and this Social Security Code has widened the coverage by including the unorganized sector, fixed term employees and workers, platform workers, in addition to the contract employees, and it will be, therefore very important for establishment to assess the implications and revisit the compliance requirements under the Social Security Code. So thank you so much, my dear students, and I believe this deliberation will definitely help you, and it will give you an insight about the social security in India, social security of employees in India. So please go through these PPTs, these slides will definitely help you. Thank you so much. This is all about the social security in India for today's deliberation. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a nice time. Take care.